Welcome back. It is always a good day. When I wake up, I give thanks, and I know that today is my day to record with another intriguing person in the death and dying community. You're in for such a treat today. A wonderful woman. We've known each other for 4 years now, going on 4 years, and she is the producer creator of the beautiful Dying Expo. And I will introduce you to Michele in just a minute. First, I just want to do a couple of shout outs here. I went online and I was looking at my podcast and who's listening and where they're listening. So, my goodness, my number one market in the United States is Travelers Rest, South Carolina. Thank you. Oh my gosh, like well over 100 downloads just in that neck of the woods. Edwardsville, Illinois, Ellicott City, Maryland, Honolulu, Hawaii is a big market. Wake Forest, North Carolina, and outside of the United States, Sydney, Australia, thank you, and Rotterdam, South Holland, which was brand new. So, so exciting to be able to literally see where you're listening and where you're downloading, where you're sharing the next room. And I'm just so very grateful because it seems to be growing each week. I get more and more people listening, more and more people downloading. And it really is important because the work that I'm doing here is from my heart and so important to me and the people that I have on the show. So coming up this weekend, it is the 4th annual Beautiful Dying Expo. It is November 11, 12, 13. We're in the year 2022, just in case you're thinking, oh, is this old? No, this is this year coming up this weekend. The producer, creator of the Beautiful Dying Expo is Michele Little, and I am thrilled to have her on the next room. Welcome to the show, Michele.
Thank you, Jane. It's such a pleasure to be here all of the time. And you're right, we've known each other for 4 years or a little bit more, and we have not met physically, and we're in the same city. And so, or the same county, I should say. And it's time before the expo, we've got to find some time together.
I would love that. We'll just have to go grab coffee. Maybe we can meet midway.
Yes.
Michele, what brought you to? I mean, this is a massive undertaking. You're pulling in people from the grief community, from hospice, from Final Exit Network, people like End of Life, death doulas. I mean, it's people from every facet of the death and dying community. What brought you to this concept of wanting to gather all of us under one roof and create this beautiful event?
Wow, thank you, Jane. Um, the the interesting thing about the Beautiful Dying Expo is questions. It's all about questions and how, for me, I had so many questions about dying and death. No one would answer them. Everything was shoved under the rug as a child. And it wasn't until I got into my 50s that I really let myself ask the questions and find the research. I mean, now we have the internet, right? As kids, we didn't have that. And we had encyclopedias that didn't share with us any of this information.
Right.
And so, as the years went by, you push everything down to learn about life and, the tragedies that occur and the love that happens and the celebrations. And so, there's been a lot of tragedy that has crossed my path in my lifetime. And I thought that if I'm going through stuff, how many other people in the world are also going through stuff? And I'm talking about grief, and trauma and things from of that nature. And I thought I'm going to become after my brother died in 9/11. He was a firefighter. His name was David. You know that. He was with Rescue One, and then the death of my future father-in-law just put me into a place of what am I going to do next? So my brother was 2001, Bob was 2014, and then these death midwifery and death doulist classes started popping up all over the place. By 2017, 2018, things were like moving in the death and dying and death community. And it was astounding to me that the universe or whomever brought me into this place for all my searchings and all the things that I've been wanting, saying, well, you want those answers? You're the key. You open it up for everyone else and get the answers that you need for everyone. So I thought, okay, I got my death midwifery certification. I was on my way. Everything was going great, starting my business. What do I do with it? And then I'm like, oh my gosh, I, what is it to be a death midwife really? And how do I work that into life? Because people weren't talking about dying and death. And everything was still a myth and taboo in 2017, 2018, 2019. And then COVID hit. So with all of that going on, I felt that you have to have a pathway in this lifetime. And it's always about preparing. You have to prepare for what may occur. And then know that there are plans intact that you can go for. So there are, symposiums and conferences. There are, expos and stuff that bring all of the professionals and the experts together, and they're commingling and sharing information. But what I found out was that the public didn't know about all of these wonderful things that they were doing for each other. And I said, okay, I'm going to take all these professionals and experts, I'm going to bring them to the expo. They're going to be the ones talking about all their stuff to an audience that's seeking answers. And I thought, okay, cool. So I started off with putting down what is it that goes on. I found 6 different tracks, categories that it can go in, that we can encompass everyone under one roof in a short period of time. So it was all about the tracks. Would you like me to share the tracks?
Yes, actually, the perfect lead in, because I want people that are listening right now to understand that the beautiful Dying Expo that's coming up this weekend, 11, 12, 13, 2022. And what is it? How do they access it? And what can they expect when they get there? So, first of all, what is it? Where can they access it? And then when they get there, what's going on? Why would I want to attend the beautiful Dying Expo? What is waiting for me behind this great virtual expo?
Okay, well, thank you, Jane. And you'll have to probably pull me back a little bit, but I look at the last 3 years as 2020 being the year of isolation, 2021 being the year of reflection, this year being the year of awakening, and next year I'll tell you after. And through this time, there has been so many changes, mostly negative, but there have been some positive light within the last 3 years that have brought us together. And I feel like what people are going to get out of this is an opportunity to ask their questions to the professionals and the experts on the panel presentations that we're having every morning. Everyone that is doing a presentation is going to be on this panel. The audience is going to be asking the questions that's coming from their hearts, and they're going to be able to share their stories as well as what might have happened the last 3 years, and what kind of help can they get, or where can they get educated, get creative, create their legacies in one place. So,
Okay. All right. So what are the 4, or what are the 6? You call them tracks or categories, for lack of
yes.
a better term. Okay. What are
And
those?
so this year there's 6, like I said, there's 6 tracks. We're doing things a little bit differently this year, where we're bringing in different tracks together, 2 tracks each day.
Okay.
So on Friday, 11/11, we're going to be talking about after death events and loss and grief education and support. And I felt that those 2 were very, very important to open up the expo because of what we're all going through right now. So instead of bringing in paperwork and what you need to do, no. Let's find out where we are right now, and where do we want to be, and how do you want to get there?
Okay.
Really about the pathway through the expo, and it's always been that kind of pathway that I've been trying to create. So the after death events is all about home funerals and vigils and memorials and celebration of life, and what is a green burial, what is traditional, what is it that we have out there, and how can we dress the body if we don't want to be in a casket or a coffin, and
Okay.
And so we're going to get all those answers on Friday, as well as grief, because we are all grieving at some level. We're suffering, and it's time to understand that maybe some of the things that we're going through with this grief may have come from tragic moments or places that you didn't get your answers as a child.
Okay.
So I'm in a place now, I'm growing every day. I'm I'm just wanting to, okay, so just if I'm growing every day, I want everybody else to be able to have that opportunity.
I love that.
Thank you.
Okay.
On Saturday, we have mysticism and spirituality, cultural myths, theology and beliefs, and holistic alternatives. So that's all the spiritual care counselors, the thanatologists and shamans and music and so on. And then we have holistic alternatives, bringing in physicists, massage therapists, aromatherapy, really talking with people that are doing, believing that the mind, body, spirit of a human being must be treated collectively in order to achieve any idea of healing, rather than simply treating a person for a specific illness or injury. And then the last day is prepare for the final, get your affairs in order, and end of life care. And I wanted to say, show everything from Friday to Saturday to Sunday, so that you have a moment to breathe in all the things that you've got, and then take the steps that are needed to be grounded in who you are, and be able to feel okay to ask questions, because you will get answers. And that's the 6 tracks.
I love it. I just really feel I've been involved with it for years now, and I feel like each year gets more concise and clean, and there's more clarity and more focus.
Mhm.
Okay, so we have the 6 tracks. I'm listening right now. I'm in Sydney, Australia, and I'm saying, Michele, how do I sign up for the Beautiful Dying Expo? Like, what do I do? It's coming up this Friday. I need to know because I want to go.
Well, we're gifting everyone a free weekend pass. So just
Uh-huh.
go over to the beautifuldyingexpo.com website, click on register here, and go over to the landing page of the expo and just sign up. That's it. Just
And you
register.
just need an email, right?
Well, during registration, they ask for a
Yes.
profile. So
Yeah.
yeah, you get into the expo with your email address. And there's also some questions within the registration form that just says, hey, do you have questions that you'd like to ask any of the professionals each day? And just write it into your profile and we'll get to them.
So much of this is so important. I mean, I cover all these topics on the next room, but as I'm listening, I'm like, oh, I need to be there. I need to be in, I've got to be on, day one. I want to be involved in day two and day three. We all need to plan. And it kind of like alleviates any pressure to our life once we get our ducks in a row. Once we figure out what we're going to do with all this stuff that we gather, or how do we want our body treated, and how do we want it prepared for our final resting place, or scattered, or whatever, aquamation. There's so many amazing alternatives now with
Yes,
green burial too.
yes.
So, well, this is so fun. You've gathered some great people. Do you have some sponsors that you want to talk about and give some love to?
So this year, what we've done is we're inviting, really, kind of changed the model of sponsorship packets to
Okay.
allow people to advertise, and advertise at a rate that gives you certain um, benefits. And so that's really more what I'm doing. And then those exhibitors who are also our sponsors, so everybody advertises and they get a certain spot regarding their booth spaces and what they get within those booth spaces to share their presentations into the world.
Okay. That sounds great. I love it. And there's some really good people that you're working with. So um I'm involved, like I've mentioned. So I'm going to be doing some live podcasts. So on Friday on the 11th, I'll have the amazing, well, we're going to do it together. It's a dual podcast. The fabulous Grave Woman, Joelle Simone's going to be with me. It's the next room with Joelle and Jane. That'll be on Friday. On Saturday, I am going to speak with Amanda Meeks from permanent.org. Really cool organization. And on Sunday, I'm going to take you through a near death experience with the unbelievable Barbara Bartolome.
Mm.
So that's just my little portion of the program.
Yeah,
When
I want to just share, some of the keynotes that we're having.
please, oh, absolutely.
So I know that you're going to be doing a podcast with Joelle, which is great. But she's our keynote for the opening ceremony on our opening day on 11/11. And that's going to be pretty amazing. So come to the keynote. And then on Saturday, we have Ram Dev Del Borglum as our second keynote for Saturday. And then on Sunday, we have Dr. Reverend Jamie Edie Chisholm. So what these keynote speakers are going to be speaking about is going to just blow your minds and bring you into a place of groundedness and love. And we have continuing education classes going throughout the weekend as well. We have Crystal Webster, we have Ben Jansen, we have Dale Borglum sharing their their continuing education classes. We have, oh my goodness, there's so many people that are involved, and this is just a taste of what you're going to get next year in 2023. So let me just share with you a little bit more people. Is that all right?
Absolutely. Hey, this is your show. If you just tuned in, my guest is Michele Little. She's the producer creator of the beautiful Dying Expo. It is coming up this weekend, 11, 12, 13 November 2022. 3 full days. Just go to beautifuldyingexpo.com and it'll say click here to register. You just fill out a quick little form and then you will have free entrance. But do keep in mind, if you have the wherewithal to donate, you can do a charitable donation just from your heart. If you think, oh my gosh, all of this information is at my fingertips for free, and I'm meeting these extraordinary people that are helping me work through my grief or teaching me about end of life care or getting my affairs in order, and you feel good about it, by all means, this woman is doing all of this out of her own back pocket. And so please help out and just click the button and just throw a few dollars her way, because it really is important.
Thank you. That was awesome. We have a couple other podcasts going on too with Johanna Lynn, and she will be, let me just make sure of the name. I don't want to mess that up. Hold on. Oh boy. Okay, so it's Johanna Lund from When You Die podcast, and she'll be interviewing William Peters, and that's going to be a pretty cool conversation. And then we have Dr. Ben Jansen, who's been with us since the beginning as well, who does amazing work in
Love
grief.
Ben. Yeah,
And
he's great.
he's a chaplain, he's a bereavement counselor, he's a theologian, he's spiritual. I mean, this man has it all. And he's just such a pleasure to be around, and he'll put a smile on your face. And we have some presentations going on, interviews that are happening with, I'm sorry, let me just open this up a little bit more. So I have to look because there's so many great people and I don't want to miss anybody for you. And I'm looking to make sure that I have everybody here. And so we have Ben, we have Crystal, we have Pushkar Rostogi from India, talking about his proprietorship of the work that he does with beautiful art forms. Anyway, and then we have on Saturday, we have 2 other continuing education classes going on. So please take a look at the website, take a look at the registration page. We also have on Sunday, we have pain control, we have the Smartleys, Rebuilding Life After Loss. We have Amanda Meeks speaking and presenting Planning and Creating Your Digital Legacy. We have a phenomenal roundtable discussion on Sunday with the Indigenous scholars. And also, I want you to know about Monday. I'm sorry, on Friday. I keep doing that with Fridays and Mondays, and
That's okay. You've got a lot of plates
yeah.
spinning in the air. So,
So
hey,
I just want to tell you about Friday. The
deep
death.
breath.
I know I've got a lot going on, and I'm so excited about everybody that's showing up. And if I miss saying your name here, I apologize, but you'll be seen, you'll be
Oh,
heard.
yeah.
People will learn from you. But the big thing for Monday for me is the end of this life doula, midwife, guide, planner, roundtable discussion
That's
with
on Friday.
Friday at from
Okay.
4:30 to 6:30.
Okay.
And it's important for me because there's so many questions about who is a death doula?
What is a death doula?
What do you
Yeah.
do? What's your role? What's your tasks? Why do
Right.
I want to know you?
Right.
And what are you going to do for me and my family? Who are you?
Mm-hmm.
So all of those are going to be answered on Friday, and we have doulas and midwives and planners and guides from all over the world coming in and having this conversation with us. So please come and see and learn, and maybe we'll be able to change some language for 2023 so that everybody understands who and what and where and why
I
we
love
do
that.
things to do.
Well, I think that the common thing that everybody's aware of is a birth doula, right? So you come on the planet in a very loving and generous way with these people that help you come on very gently. And to me, a death doula is on this end where they help you exit very gently. So it's really quite lovely. And I love that it's coming into its own and that you are having this deep discussion with the midwives and with death doulas and educating the public more because we have choices and we can have a beautiful, lovely exit. We can
Mhm.
have a beautiful death. And that is so very important. It is not scary. It is not ugly. It is meant to be loving and kind and gentle. And I know that not everybody, you don't plan it. Some think we do prior to getting here, that we already know the way that we're going to leave, but we probably forget it just out of necessity to be able to live without fear.
Hmm.
So it's going to be very interesting. So please go to beautifuldyingexpo.com and get registered November 11th, 12th, 13th, coming up this weekend. It's going to be great. And, everybody keeps talking about, and I see so much of it because of all the groups that I'm on, but the veil is thinning.
Mhm.
And here we are. We're at that kind of time of year when the days are getting short and less light, and it's kind of time to go in and be in deep reflection. And what a beautiful time of year for the beautiful Dying Expo. So,
Yes.
Michele Little is my guest today, creator, producer. I do want to mention that, I wrote The Next Room with my beautiful mother, and I wanted to give back. I wanted to do something and and help out. And of course, being an independent author, it's always nice to sell books too. So I am giving Michele 50% of any proceeds that I make on The Next Room all the way through the expo. So there's a link on the Beautiful Dying Expo page. There's a link on my website. You can see the Beautiful Dying Expo logo, and I will make sure that she gets 50% of everything. I actually need her Venmo now. Oh, thank you. She's put up my book right there so you can see it. But you know, do me a favor and do her a favor at the same time. You get this, lovely story about afterlife and about connection with a loved one who is in the next room. And at the same time, I feel good because I can turn around and hand her some money because she's been so generous with including the next room and my podcast and connecting with me with. I mean, I wouldn't know the grave woman had I not met you. And now Joelle is like literally one of my dearest friends. I love her to pieces.
Me
And
too.
I've
Me too.
met
What's
so
not to
many.
love? What's not to
I
love?
know. I know. There's just so many great people and so many people with the right kind heart that are involved with this expo. And so, because of you, Michele, you've brought me into that world. And so, this is an opportunity for me to be able to give back. So, do me a favor and go to janeasherrainey.com and buy a book, buy more than one, and share them. And then rest assured, she will get a Venmo with cash money and go, wow, Jane, we sold 50 books. That's incredible. So I would love that very much. That would be really good for me, and it would be great for the expo.
I want to say more
Okay.
because it's not just about a book,
Mm.
and it's not just about, gifting me money because someone bought a book. This book has done so much for me in the words that are used from your mom through Pamela to you to just get this book done, and the stories and the ethereal message that comes from her was so important for me. And I have shared your book with many people who, may have seen or thought that maybe they saw or heard their loved one, a year later, or, within the first year or whatever it is. But I just want you to know that it's more, your audience needs to know that it's more than just a book.
Mm.
And
Thank you.
it's lovely. It's written beautifully. I can't wait for your second book to come out. And just you know just take a look at this book and read. Just open up a page, because one page is going to share something for you today. So I just
Mm.
opened up one. Um, um, Simply put, to help humanity move forward, perhaps it is not viewed as poverty or pain, but simply an opportunity to expand a boundary of growth. Okay, I'm satisfied, except I need to know, have you returned? Do you mean right now? Yes, I have. My energy is actually already in several other incarnations on the planet. And you say, that's wild. Do I know these people? I mean, I can hear you talking to her.
Yeah.
And no, you do not is her answer. But I'm telling you, there's a reason for every page, for every word that's in this book. And I just want to let people know about that. And I am honored to know you, Jane. And
Oh.
so it's a precious relationship that we have. And it keeps growing, and we keep learning about each other. And from that we just go into an unbelievable, beautiful, loving sisterhood. And that's what I'm about. And this expo is all about sharing this information out into the world, and igniting the pilot lights in everyone's hearts. That,
I
that's
like that. That's
I know.
beautiful. I'm going to quote you on that. Okay, we're getting close to the end. Please take me through. I love your explanation for the years and what they meant. And then you promised that you would share what 2023 was going to be with us. So just take us through that. And then I'm going to ask you for final words, and then we will have to say goodbye for now.
Okay, so like I said earlier, 2020 was the year of isolation, 2021, the year of reflection, 2022, the year of awakening, and 2023 is call to action.
Mm.
Everything that we've done, everything that we are, no matter who we are, no matter how we've grown or not grown, how we've educated ourselves or not, next year is the call to action. And we must take that step or those steps.
I love it. Michele Little, producer, creator, death doula, midwife. I mean, you've done it all. And you've brought all of these loving, wonderful people together in the death and dying community. Thank you. Thank you for the work that you're doing. And thank you for pulling us all together under one roof. The beautiful Dying Expo is coming up right now. I mean, it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 11, 12, 13. Go to beautifuldyingexpo.com, register. This is a free event, but if you have the wherewithal to be generous and donate, just something from your heart, every little bit helps. I mean, think about if everyone that's listening to this podcast right now gave $1, you would have a lot of money.
Mhm.
So, I mean, seriously, if you have $1 today and you're listening and you're like, far out, I'm going to go to the expo and give her $1, that would be really cool, because then we could really start a great movement for the call to action for next year. So thank you so much, Michele. Any final words before we close?
I'm so happy to be able to provide this platform for the world. And I would love to just see how it grows exponentially as we go into our 5th year. And you're another, next year's another official podcast with the next room. So
I love it. That sounds great. Thank you so much for joining me on the next room today. Michele Little, producer, creator, beautifuldyingexpo.com. This weekend, November 11th through the 13th, 2022 is our year. We're in our 4th year. And what do you say, Travelers Rest, South Carolina? How about it? Please join us. That would be like, I don't know, 114 people right there that could sign up and come and join us, because I know you're listening in Travelers Rest, and I'm going to come visit you, because after I was telling the grave woman that Travelers Rest was my biggest listened to market so far in the United States, she sent me a link and said, Jane, it's a really spiritual place on the planet. And I started Googling and looking around. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to visit. So anybody in Travelers Rest, you want to put together something for a live podcast? I'll come to town. I'll do a book signing. We'll have some fun in Travelers Rest. And
nice.
I know I'm super excited. Why not? Also, 50% of the proceeds from the next room will go to the Beautiful Dying Expo. There is a link on my website. There's also a link at the beautifuldyingexpo.com. So do us a favor and support us and the work that we're doing, all of us coming together to create this wonderful community. Michele, thank you. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I will see you this weekend at the Beautiful Dying Expo. I'll be there the entire time. I'll be in the studio. I'll be in my booth. I'll be hanging out. I'll be dancing backstage. So I hope to see everyone there. It's going to be a lot of fun. And it is about the questions. This is about you. She's gathered experts and people that are knowledgeable about all of these topics. But what we really need is we need to know, what do you need? What are you curious about? And we're there for you. So bring your questions. We're ready to answer them to the best of our knowledge and help you out. And there's an opportunity also to connect with all these people, to network. So if you are in the death and dying community and you're thinking, I want to be involved next year, how do I get involved? How do I do a keynote, or how do I have a booth? Michele's going to be there. You'll be able to ask her that question and get involved for next year, 2023.
Thank you. Yeah, that's perfect. I want to add one more thing, if I may.
Absolutely. You may.
Thank you. Let me get this open. I just wanted to say that, I wanted to recognize Johanna Lynn with, I'm sorry, Lun. I don't know why I keep doing that to her. So I apologize to all of you. Hold on. It's we're holding a feature presentation, a movie on Saturday from 4:30 to 6:30 with When You Die Project movie. It will be held with Q&A with Johanna. And so please, know that that's available. It's going to be a great movie presentation with Q&A. So I just wanted to put that out there. I thank you for letting me do that.
Absolutely. Wonderful. Thanks again for joining me on the next room, where death is dinner conversation. I am just honored to be your host. Please join us, Beautiful Dying Expo, this weekend. I hope to meet you and say hello to you. I'll have a booth and you can come on with me and we can have a chat about the afterlife, because that's kind of my, it's my passion. Although I'm pretty heavy into the grief side of things too, because I feel like we move with grief. Grief is directly tied to the amount of love that we have experienced on the planet. So thank you so much for being here. It is the next room with Jane Asher and my guest, Michele Little. I will see you this weekend at the Beautiful Dying Expo.
Be there.